here.
You look great as well. I love your flowers in the back.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Hopefully you can see us now. I'm Andrea and this is Dee Dee. Welcome. And thank you guys so much for your patience. Apparently there were some tech issues behind the scenes with sessions. So you know what, being one of the first sessions in the conference, I guess we have to work out the bugs. So thank you all so much for your patience. So excellent. All right. I am going to now introduce you, Dee Dee, properly.
Yes.
So give me just a second and I will do that. Okay. All right, everybody, here's your official start to the session. Well, hello, Productivity Summit. I am Andrea Anderson with Productive Environment Institute. We help established business owners get organized and increase productivity in 90 days or less without having to scan or throw everything away. I'll be leading the session with Dee Dee Kai from Fit to Profit. Dee Dee is the founder of Fit to Profit, and she helps coaches launch and scale their businesses to create more impact in the world while living the lifestyle they have envisioned. Today, Dee Dee is going to be presenting Create Your Six-Figure Business Plan. One bit of housekeeping, we will be collecting and holding all questions until the presenter is finished with the presentation portion of today's session. So without further delay, here's Dee Dee.
Hello, good morning. I'm saying good morning from the East Coast, 9 a.m. Friday. So wherever you are tuning in, thank you so much for being here with us. I'm super excited to be here. This is by far one of my favorite topics to teach. And thank you, Andrea, for a warm introduction and your kind words. I want to get us right into it. I want to give you a little bit more of what we are going to be going through today and what to really expect. So do know that sometimes creating a business plan can seem a little daunting, depends on what it is you're trying to achieve with the business plan. I want you to know before we get started that this is not a traditional business plan like you think about with graphs, perhaps jargons. I'm not going to be teaching you how to do those things. Specifically, why I call it a $100,000 business plan, because it has the meat and the very essential tools to how you can really generate that revenue. So that said, I'm going to go straight into it. I'm going to provide you some pre-work information first. And you don't have to worry about writing every single thing down. I'm actually going to be sharing this whole outline in the electronic swag bag. So keep in mind, just jot down the notes that, that comes to you that you can get, but this whole outline is going to be coming to you. So some of the pre-work questions that I have created to get you started in creating this business plan are 4 things. So first of all, set your intention, okay? So what do you hope to get out of this plan, or what do you hope to get out of listening into me today and this workshop? And what's your intention? Why do you want to create this business plan in the first place, okay? Secondly, up until this point, what has been stopping you from creating this business plan? Okay, so up until this point, what has been stopping you from creating this business plan? Is it because of your preconceived notion of what it's about, or like what's holding you back from making it happen? Thirdly, list all of the questions that you need answers to create this business plan as we go through. As Andrea said, by the end of the session, you are going to have some time to ask some questions around like what I taught and some tips and how to navigate things. And then lastly, what does your life look like if you were able to take this business plan and run with it, right? Like implement it, really work the kinks out, do everything that you need to do. What would your life look like? In other words, what would your life look like if you are able to generate $100,000 in your business when you're launching it or you're ready to scale it? Okay. And then some previous questions going to help you create the next levels of your business plan. For example, where do you see yourself 90 days from now, 12 months from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, and even 5 years from now? So know that this business plan is actually going to help you execute your short-term goals, but at the same time, long-term goals to really execute your vision of the company, your vision of your life, all of that good stuff. Okay, awesome. So that's just pre-work that's coming to you, but those are some things just to kind of think about, get your mind around, so that way we can continue the conversation and things are going to make more sense as we go through. Okay, so bear with me. And then I have some questions as well, because we just left off with what is your vision, right? Like for the company and your life. So some questions to think about. What is your ideal monthly income? What is your ideal monthly income? What is your schedule? Like when do you want to work? When do you want to take off? Like what does it look like for you? And remember that the reason why you're working your business or thinking about launching your business is that you want to be able to be in charge of your schedule, your time, and having that freedom to do whatever it is that you want to do. So really get creative here and really think outside the box, not the 9 to 5. What does your schedule look like ultimately if you were really committed to making your business work and to create this 6-figure business? And then what does success look like, right, this year for you? Like what will you be doing in between? Not only the things that you're going to be doing for your business, but are you going to pick up that one hobby that you're thinking about and all of that? So do know, right, everything I'm teaching is, yes, to create an ideal business, but also how to also create a foundation for your lifestyle. And then where are you with wanting to leave a legacy, right? Like, so this is really part of your vision, and this is going to really drive your long-term goals. What is your legacy that you want to leave behind? Right? And I'm just glancing back and forth because I just want to make sure that I'm on par with my notes. And then what does that look like in actually building your business and aligning your life with your business and creating that business that actually, mark my words, it's the opposite from what we are traditional thinking about, like that your job is going to support your life, right? So what is your business going to do for you? Like what can your business help you create or support the lifestyle that you want? And what is that going to look like? Okay. So those are just some pre-work, some vision related questions to consider. And then now I'm going to go straight into what we are going to be covering for the rest of the workshop. So before we get started, I just wanted to address just some things right off the bat, so that way you can really create a different listening into the information that I'm going to be providing you. So some pitfalls to look out for as we go through this today, and also as you are going to execute your business plan after the workshop today. So some pitfalls are, please remember that with any successful business, 80% of that is mindset, 20% is strategies and tactics. Okay? So really learn how to manage your mind in this whole process. And sometimes maybe information may be overwhelming and whatnot. Do know that is very normal and it's natural. So embrace it, okay? Then notice when you are emotionally triggered. And what I mean by that is, remember I said overwhelmed. So what happens when you feel like you're overwhelmed? Obviously, you may slow down in your effort and things like that. Just notice the triggers, like what happens when you're in that space. So be mindful with that. And then ultimately, one of the most important, I can't stress enough, is to please. ask for support, right? Obviously, you'll be getting what you get today, but I also will be available as well. Shoot me a note. You have my contacts and an email. Find a Facebook group with other entrepreneurs, things like that. Ask for help, but immediately too, perhaps ask for support from your family, from your friends, from whoever it is that you think that could help you with what you're going through. Strive for imperfection. If you hear anything from me today, is strive for imperfection rather than the word. I'm not going to say the word. And then really executing your plan, but really following through. I don't know about you, but I can be really excited about a plan and then fall off. So following through with the plan is super important. Okay, so those are just pitfalls to really consider. As you can see, most of the things I already shared so far are mindset related, just like how I said, 80-20 rule. 80% of business is mindset and 20% is strategies. So remember that. Okay, and so what are we going to be going over, right? Like there's so much talk already about how to manage ourselves, how to manage our minds and all that good stuff. So we're going to be going through five very essential areas of creating a business plan and even creating a really successful business. Is 1, yourself. 2, your clients. 3, your money. 4, your marketing strategies. And then 5th, and the 5 essential area is that your team, okay? And please know that we're not going to have enough time to really deep dive on every single area, but I will be really focusing on 2 main areas today, which is your client and your marketing, which is really the most important. Everything else is going to evolve as you grow, as your business scale, okay? Because you're managing yourself, that is going to be forever until the end of time. Managing your team is only going to get bigger, right? And then, of course, managing your money, that's always going to be forever. 2 things I'm going to focus on again is your client and then your marketing strategies today, okay? All right, so what do I mean when I say self or yourself? So again, going back to mindset, why did you start your business in the first place? So what is your why? What is your ultimate why? Why did you start your business in the first place? What matters most to you? And sometimes the question could be asked this way is, what really ticks you off? And, excuse me for the language, but it's until you're really angry about something, like maybe you're seeing, injustice in the world and whatever it is, that's when you would take action, right? Perhaps that's what you're about, is making a difference in a certain area of society, the world. That is perhaps part of your why. What is the real reason why you are doing all of this? And what ultimately, as much as we think that, yes, we can create the impact, and I know I'm creating the impact in the world with my business, but ultimately at the end, what is it that I'm trying to do for myself? Okay. And it's going to make a lot more sense when I talk more about, how to create certain values for your company as part of your mission statement. But those are questions that you can consider in terms of what is your why ultimately, okay? And then who are you? So remember when I said values, you probably have heard of company values, and starts with you. That's why the self is so important in your business, is that everything starts with you. So what do you value? What's most important to you? So 6 of our company values for Fit to Profit, I want to share with you. 1 is freedom, friendship, optimism, valor, truth, and teamwork. So literally before these became our company values, these values are values I have been living by. So For example, my friendship is so important to me, meaning my relationships, and my family is important to me. Freedom is important to me. Why? Because I want to have the flexibility to be there for my relationships, for my family. Why is this important now to consider while you're creating your business plan? Well, here we go. It could be that it's going to be dictating how you are going to be delivering your products or services. For example, I am a mom to a 3-year-old toddler, and I always knew that I wanted to create a business with flexibility in my schedule so I can be there at, PTA meetings. She's actually in a co-op program, so I'm actually co-teaching with her teachers, every so often, and I'm involved in the school committees and things like that, and I literally can work anywhere. So that means when I deliver my products and services, it is mostly all virtual. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. So you want to be able to know what you value and what you care about so that when you create a structure and a model for your business, you know how to create your way of delivering your services. You know how to create what type of products or services that really is going to speak to you. And that's how you can be really authentic to your brand and who you are. Okay. So the self is super important. And then last but not least, a third question that is going to help you create and look into yourself is, why do you do your work? Okay, so what your values are, why did you want to start your company? But ultimately, why is this work so important to you? So an example being is that for me, I always knew I wanted to help people. However, I didn't really understand clearly until certain parts of my life, or certain situations happen in my life for me to know why it's important. So for example, when I was going through my late teens and early 20s, I was, of course, during the time where I'm trying to learn about myself and all of that, I was actually going through, major phase of being anxious and depressed and all of that. And the turning point was also when the week before my wedding, I also lost my best friend to suicide. She was going through the same thing. She was depressed, she was anxious, she was antisocial, and that was that. So my work is super important because I don't want anyone to have to go through what I had to go through. And because I was also in that place before. So the work I do is super important because I want every single person to do believe in his or herself that there is another way out. Because it's really hard to see that when you're in that dark space. So honestly, my work is so important because I really do want to save lives. I could have been her, but I had an opportunity to see another way, another option. So why is your work important? And if you can't see it clearly right now, which is totally fine, but I want you to tap into reasons why most business owners and social impact entrepreneurs like myself, and perhaps you, if you're a part of the Productivity Summit, is because you want to create an impact. Whether you want to make a difference in your life, in your friends and family's lives, or you want to make a difference as a whole. Most business owners start their businesses because they do believe in the bigger impact that they can create in the world, rather than sitting in a job, a 9 to 5. Not to say that it's not great, but it takes different people, okay? So yeah, that's the 3 areas you should consider for you considering the self, yourself in creating a business plan is, what are your core values? What do you believe in? What are your why, or what is your why? Why do you want to do the work you do? And then thirdly, why is it important? Why is this work so important in the world? Okay. Whew, I know it's a lot of already things to really consider already. So I'm going to just go down the list of also 10 success achievement rules that I have for myself. as you are going through the mindset piece of managing yourself. And I really think it's important to consider these tips, because things are going to come up. You are going to judge yourself in why you believe what you believe in, all of that. But these things are good reminders and ways for you to get yourself back in the game. Okay. So first of all, take time off. As much, I know this is part of your business plan, right? Like, take time off, because you know how productive you can be when you are well rested and when you are well taken care of. So I feel like I'm speaking to the choir here. You know how important that is. And specifically, take time off. These are the formulas that I have been using. 1 full day off at least a week, 2 full days off at least per month, 3 to 5 days at least per quarter, and 7 to 10 days biannual. So twice a year, you should take off a week or at least 10 days. Okay. Secondly, be mindful with how you spend your time. Really establish routines. And what I mean by that is morning routine and evening routine. Morning routines when you really grounded, look at your goals for the day. What are you going to be doing that day? Evening routine entails what you have done for the day, projections for the next day, really gathering everything you did and acknowledge yourself for the work. That is super important. That is being able to track your progress on a daily basis, super helpful in your ensuring your success. And then key rule of thumb as well. You should be spending 10% of your overall revenue every year on yourself, learning something new, and then 10% on your business. So please know that if you are running your business, you are your business. So it's important to invest in yourself. Whether is, for me, I'm always interested in making sure that I have a certain way of listening and really improving my communication skills, because that's what everything is all about. As you can see, we're communicating right now, we're talking, we're sharing information. So that's my focus area and how I can invest in myself. And then in my business, I can tell you until the end of time, it's always going to be marketing, because there's so much out there. And that's why that's going to be one of the things I'm going to be focused on to really ensure that you are going to make that first $100,000, is to really focus on marketing. So do that. Invest 10% in yourself, 10% in your business, at least once every year. Okay. And then design the business that fits your lifestyle. Again, briefly, like what I shared earlier, do you work out in the morning, right? So you start your schedule at 10 a.m. versus 9 a.m. because you have time to work out. Or do you work out at night? So perhaps you start earlier and then you have time to work out at night. So create the business that really suits your lifestyle. If you have a family like me, perhaps you don't work on the weekends ever because you have, family activities. So things like that. Really, truly believe that whatever it is that you can create in terms of your schedule, everyone around you is going to be able to learn and respect that. I know that the fear could be that, oh my gosh, maybe my client can see me at a certain time, or, really establish boundaries and really know that you can truly design the business that really suits your lifestyle. Most important also, notice what stops you from executing your plan. Stay in integrity with your word. And that's going back to, teamwork. That's going back to having people that is standing for you, and for you to really, truly take responsibility for your work. Yeah. So for example, if you are saying that you're going to be at a meeting at a certain time, rather than really, oh, I'm sorry, I'm late, that doesn't mean that you get a green card. You can be in integrity by saying, I said I was going to be at 10 a.m. I'm here at 10:10. I'm aware of that. And I will make sure that I will be on time next time. Right? So rather than being sorry, you can actually really take on being responsible and being in integrity with your word. Okay. So client. Next is client. I love this topic, and that's why it's an essential, area for what we want to focus on today. So I'm going to give you a whole bunch of questions to really consider. And then I'm going to give you the two most important formulas that is going to help you generate the revenue. So some questions to consider about your client is, who is your client? Who is your client? What problem do you solve for your clients? What problems do you solve for your client? What is the pain that they're in right now? So what is the pain point? What are their desires? What are the best, why are you the best person to help them with this problem? Okay, so for example, being is that, why am I the best person to be telling you these things? No, well, number one, this is the plan that I use to make my first $100,000 in my coaching business. Okay. Secondly, I speak about balancing work and life so much is because I almost lost myself in the process running my own salon and restaurant business with my mother. And the burned out got me really clear on how I was not being productive with my time, and the quality of work that I was putting out was mediocre. And that's why I'm the right person to be telling you these things, to really consider from the very beginning to establish a foundation, a business plan that is going to support you on the long run, that is going to be sustainable for you. Because ultimately, if you don't have your health, if you don't have energy, if you don't have clarity, there's no way that you can be running your business or make the right decisions that is going to be influential for your business. Okay. And then ultimately, what are you selling? What are your products and services? What are you currently offering? And ultimately with that, with your offer, what is the ultimate outcome? What are the results that you are promising your clients? So after their engagement with you, what are they going to walk away with? Okay. So what are you selling? What are your products and services? What are the outcomes ultimately or results they are going to be receiving? And I can tell you, when in doubt, everybody on this planet wants more time and money. So if your products and services can help solve both of those desires, which is more time and more money, way to go. But you can always start with the first one. Perhaps, being productive, you can save them time. Or ultimately later on, because they're saving time, ultimately time is money, or even more valuable than money, you are saving them money ultimately. Okay, so good. Those are the questions you consider. And here are the two formulas that is going to make the biggest difference for you. And I wish this is when I have like a screen in front of me, but I will be sending you this outline. So the formula, according to what we talked about so far, is who is your client, meaning your niche, right? Your niche plus the problem they have, which is the pain, times the solution, which is your offer, equals business. Okay, one more time. So it's your niche plus the problem they have. If you are math people, think parentheses, niche plus problem in parentheses times offer, which is your solution, equals business. Okay. Niche plus offer times solution equals business. Amazing. Okay. So that is your formula. And ultimately, no matter what you're going through, you are going to be having a business situation that is related to one of the three, whether it's your niche, whether it's your problem or their problem, or whether it's the solution. So it's always going to be niche, problem, solution. Everything in your business is going to be relating to one of the three. So that's a very simple way to think about things, okay? Because that's ultimately your business. So keep in mind, if you have any questions, great, ask me later, but that's where I want you to really start thinking, okay? And then lastly, here's a formula. Have you heard of conversion rates? Meaning, how many people do you need to engage with, or how many leads you need to convert into a client? Okay. How many leads you have to go through to convert them into a paying client? So I'm going to teach you how to reverse engineer it. Okay. So if you want one client, and if you don't have your conversion rate yet, if you're just starting out or you haven't really been tracking, you don't know what your conversion rate is yet, I suggest for you to take 25%. So meaning, out of all the people you talk to or come across, 25% of those people are going to be a client. Okay. So with a 25% conversion rate, for example, every 4 people, obviously, you talk to about your products and services in a conversation where we call it a sales or strategy call, will convert into a client. So you have to have 4 strategy sessions to have 1 client. Okay. Because that's 25%. 1 is 25% of 4. So 4 strategy sessions equals 1 converting client. Okay. And of course, when you're out and about collecting leads, meeting people, and with leads, there are 3 layers of leads as well. You have cold leads, warm lead, and hot. So I'm talking about the strategy calls are usually happen with the hot leads, right? That makes sense. So that means you have to get people through the funnel. And that means only 1 out of 3 people that you talk to will agree to come on to a strategy session with you. Okay, so that means 4 times 3 equal 12 leads. So in total, you will need 12 leads to convert into 1 client. You see how that was reverse engineered? So 12 leads get you to 1/3 of those people. 4 will agree to come onto a strategy call. And then 1 out of the 4 people becomes a client, 25% conversion rate. Okay. I know this could be a lot for me just dictating it and saying it, but I'm saying it slowly, and please go back to listen to the recording, send any questions, but the outline is going to make a lot of sense when I have everything written down. Okay. So 12 for every client, you have 12 leads to pursue, as a goal. So there you guys go. That is the 2 most important formulas in generating your revenue. And I am saying this especially for service-based business professionals, because we offer service-based businesses. So this formula works very well with service-based professionals or coaches. Okay. And then, of course, we are almost out of time. Oh my goodness, I can talk about this all day. I'm going to go briefly over money, and then I'm going to focus the rest of the time on talking about marketing. Okay. So money, why am I putting this part into the business plan? I want to share quickly that your money, the way you handle your money in your business has everything to do with who you are as a person and how you handle your personal finances. Why I say that is because we all have a money belief system, right? Whether we were taught that money doesn't grow on trees, it's hard to make money, money is evil, etc. That is our belief system when it comes to money. And that has everything to do with our mindset around how we can create it in our businesses. Okay, so stick with me here. So for example, my dad was a spender and my mom loves to save. So I grew up with contradicting belief, right? So for the longest time, my business was always going up and then down, up and then down. Well, because I took on those habits, the spending habits that I got from my parents, right? I was making a lot of money. That was great. And then I had to spend it like my dad. And then I'm saving it so I have more money to invest in my business. And then I'm spending it. So the reason why I put it in here to the business plan is because I had to learn the hard way. After a couple years of being in business, everything was okay. I was profitable. But at the same time, we never had extra to invest in anything else, right? Like I was always meeting the mark, but there was nothing extra. There was no stretch goals. We were not meeting our stretch goals. So because of that, and that's why I want to share it with you, something for you to be conscious about, is the way you look at money and how you can generate money has everything to do with the way you make decisions in your business, whether to invest in, a products or services that's going to support you to make more money, things like that. And there are 4 different money personalities, which don't have really time to really go into, but 2 you already got, which is being a spender and also, loving to save. Another person will like to avoid, so they don't want to have to do anything with money. And then the 4th person is a martyr. So meaning like that person believes that they shouldn't be paid for their products and services because their work is too noble to be paid for. Okay. So it really depends on how you really look at money in your personal life. It's going to really manifest, and also your way of making financial decisions in your business. And it's important for me to bring that up. Even if you don't understand it all right now, do more research on that, because I tell you, everything that I do up until this point has been overcoming money objections, and all of that in sales conversations is around all of what it's going through with me internally and my mindset around generating revenue and money. Okay. Yay. And then lastly, here we go. I'm going to go through marketing. How can you generate revenue now that you know what business is all about? Niche plus problem times solution equals business, how to convert clients. So what are the quickest ways to really generate those leads? What are the action steps that you should take to create the revenue? So the 3 quickest way in really creating a service-based business and really getting clear on what it is that you do, everything, I want you to focus on, first of all, offline marketing. What I mean by that is in flesh, like talking to people and things like that. That was how I was able to generate my first $100,000. It was all offline, meeting people in your local area. So networking, speaking, and sponsorships. So networking, that's self-explanatory. Speaking, meaning you want to be going to events where they have outside speakers, or you can create your own meetings where you can generate an opportunity for you to stand in front of the group and speak about what it is that you do and how you do it, and to generate leads. Sponsorships can be a little tricky in terms of thinking about it. You may think about trade shows. You may be thinking about supporting an organization as a sponsor so that your business name is being mentioned, all of that. So those 3 ways are the best and quickest ways to generate revenue in your business. I want to let you know that it's important to do those steps first and get really masterful, because that's how you can then get the right message. What I mean by that is you don't know how to speak to your potential client in a way that makes you the expert. So you need practice. And the only way to get practice, to get clear on your messaging and your marketing language and content and all of that before you can even consider going online, is you need to get versed with all of that before you can go online. And so honestly, I've been in business for almost now 5 years. I'm just now entertaining this year how to go online with all the stuff that I've been learning offline. So super important to really understand that. Don't do it the reverse way. I know it's really fast and quicker in theory to do everything online and electronically, automation systems and all of the things, but you have to master the foundations first. You have to have a sound foundation, do the fundamentals first, okay? Yeah, and then so the 3 strategies. So those are the 3 quickest ways to create cash and revenue is networking, speaking, and sponsorship. And 3 foundational strategies is that master offline marketing, focus on only revenue generating activities, and build your list. Okay, build your list. What I mean by that is no matter which platform you use eventually to go online, is the list, meaning the email address of the contacts, they don't belong to you. If you use Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, you name it, Instagram, your people are on their platform, so you don't own the list. So I encourage you to at the very beginning right now, to start collecting your own leads and generate your own email list. So eventually that will be your community. That will be your tribe. So every single time when you have a product and service that you know could serve them, you can reach out to them and share the information. So it's super important to, at the very beginning, I think I learned that beautifully. It's like collecting all and every lead I have so that we can, I'm blanking out because I'm getting a note from Andrea, so bear with me. So it's great to know that you have your list and you can do something with it rather than losing the leads to your platforms. Okay. All right. That's most important. And then, of course, last but not least, of course, what is your marketing plan? So again, I love the threes. The marketing plan is the platforms. Which platform are you going to use? You cannot spread yourself thin. Only choose 1, 2, 3. And I say 1 to 3 is 1 is already given to you. It's networking, it's in person. Secondly, could be Facebook or LinkedIn or wherever it is, but do know where your clients are going to be most of the time. So choose the platform, and then what are the actions? And then what are the measures? Like, how are you going to measure your action on these platforms? So for example, if you go on networking events, how many events are you going a week or a month? And if you're on Facebook, set a goal for how many people are you going to reach out to, what we call direct outreach, per week. Okay. And then how do you measure that? At the end of the week, you want to be able to look, oh yes, I went to 4 networking events. I've met 12 people. I did 10 direct outreach every day for 5 days this week. So that's 50 leads, things like that. You have to have a way to track and measure your effort and your actions. Okay. So those are the key components of a marketing plan, which is your platform. What are you going to do? Your action, and then your measures. Oh my goodness. Yes. And we are wrapping up, believe it or not, oh my gosh, Andrea's flashing on. So your team, last bit is your team right now. If you don't have a team yet, your team could be your family, your friends, your neighbor, whoever it is that you know that may have resources for you. If you have a team, utilize them, give them, delegate, and do whatever you can to be a good manager, to be a good CEO, so that you have a good team to support you. Here we go. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm sorry we have only a few minutes for Q&A, but I'm here for you. But reach out to me. I know we don't have enough time for everything. So with any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dee Dee. That was fabulous. And I know your time was cut a little bit short. We've got other people waiting to come into this Zoom room for the next session. So how can they get in touch with you? All your information is in the portal, correct? So they can reach out to you there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Otherwise, yes, you can find me on the website www.fit2profit.com as well.
Perfect. Fit2profit.com. Thank you so much. This was excellent information. I did get a couple of questions, but we don't have time to go through them. So the two of you that sent over these questions, please reach out to Dee Dee. They were excellent questions. This is a great session. Last thing I am supposed to tell you, that if you're attending the Mega Productivity Networking event and want to win one of the prizes, don't forget to check out the exhibit hall during lunch or any of the breaks that we have to enter the raffle. And also RSVP if you plan to attend. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check your email from Ray and go into the Summit portal. Okay, there are some other sessions coming up. So thank you all for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you at another session. Talk to you soon. Thank you, Dee Dee.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrea. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.